Yes, good day everyone. July 7th, 2025. I was going to do a video on what's called Secure F, which is a spin on the Kelly criteria. Now, do yourself a favor right now. I can't believe this. I actually did a search on Secure F to see what was out there in YouTube land. And in 2025, of all the topics that are available in the world, I would have guessed at this point every one would have been done multiple times. If you see one pointed out, I do not see a single Secure F video. So I was going to do one, and then I realized very quickly most people don't even know what Kelly criteria is and how to use it properly. Now that might be unbelievable to some of you folks, given that there's about, 3.5 billion Kelly criteria videos on YouTube as it pertains to trading. And I can tell you, most of them are dead wrong. So why do a Secure F, which is a spin on Kelly criteria, when most people don't even have a grasp on Kelly criteria as it pertains to trading? Now, I use the term as it pertains to trading because Kelly criteria as it pertains to trading is not calculated the same way per se as the binomial Kelly criteria, the original, the OG. And it's because gambling is not the exact same mathematics as trading. So gambling, you gamblers have Kelly criteria down because that's what the OG Kelly criteria was for. You're risking 120 to make 100, for example. Now, on that example I just gave you, risking 120 to make 100, if you lose that bet, how much do you lose? Yes, the whole $120. You lose what you put up in its entirety. And that, my friends, put a pin in that sucker, asterisk, color it, highlight it, put it as a sticky on your monitor if you're going to try to figure out Kelly criteria with respect to trading, because that's where most people go wrong. You're looking here on the right side of the screen. I just pulled out a random, top 10 video on the Kelly criteria. Optimal position sizing for stock trading by this guy, Financial Wisdom, 250,000 subscribers. Very well done video. I couldn't do this if you put a gun to my freaking head. You can tell I can barely video these and upload it. My audio is shit. The whole works. I wouldn't even know how to do stuff like this. Sadly, in YouTube land, not getting too far off topic, people are more concerned about pumping out videos, making them flashy, making them visually appealing, because then you get more views because they end up getting more money for the deal. The content, cover your ears, fuck content. That's the way they look at it. Fuck the content, whether it's truthful, honest. In this case, it's mathematics, so it's not necessarily a thing of honesty. It's just his math is wrong. Most people's math are wrong. If you look in the comment section of this video, you can read up here the video, or you can search it out, and you can watch this video. Now, I've stopped it at 4:54. Go back 20, 30 seconds before, and you see the run up to the mistake that he makes. And this is so common. That's why I chose this video, because it highlights perfectly what almost every YouTuber does wrong when it comes to Kelly betting and utilizing it for trading. So before I can even get to the videos, which I will make, we got to start out from zero. And I'm giving you the definitive guide to Kelly trading for stock traders and future traders. Now, I'm not going to make the Kelly criteria here. What I'm showing you here is kind of like step 2. I'm going to ignore step 1 for now. It's step 2. So when you get your actual Kelly numbers, you implement the sucker properly. So he didn't give me what numbers he based these off of. He's just giving me the raw numbers. That's fine. This is where I'm going to pick it up as well. Of course, you need to find these numbers with your given algorithm. That's another ball game. Let's just start with you've got these numbers. And what you'll see here is his equity balance is $20,000. And given his Kelly criteria input, he came up with 49%. In his comment, and this is where you can check 9 out of 10 videos are wrong here, he's suggesting you risked 49% of your equity balance, and all these inputs would be $9,800. And folks, he's dead wrong. Dead wrong. Now you got to understand, if this guy, now he does claim to use the Kelly trading system. Okay, he thinks he is, maybe. I'm assuming he does. If he's trying to use it, he's using it horribly incorrectly. Now, the good news is this is a massive underbet. Massive underbet. We're talking tenfold type of underbet. We're not talking some small error. And unfortunately, too many people, since they're not, mathematics professors or have any type of mathematic degrees, they don't have a good understanding of crunching numbers and looking at the output and doing what I call the good sense test, or just straight up sense test. Is the value that I'm coming up with as an answer, does it make sense? Now, the problem is this poor fellow, like most people, they have no real understanding of what the Kelly trading system is. They just grabbed the formula, misunderstood what it said, and just used it. So when they get an output, they have no idea, they have no concept. They have no experience on, does that number make sense? And unfortunately, there's no real way around that other than just pointing it out. Now, imagine this. A YouTube channel with 250,000 plus subscribers obviously understands how to do some nice visual work here, yet the content is wrong. Welcome to YouTube, my friends. Welcome to YouTube. And sadly, people have pointed this out in the comment section. Now, I know this is wrong, so the first thing I do is scroll down in the comment section and say, hey, let's see who understands it. And there's a bunch of people there that nail it exactly right. Exactly right. Now, the other problem with YouTube video makers is they want the flash, they want the money. How can it benefit them? They don't give a shit about the content. So does this guy or any of these trading channels put somewhere as a pinned comment or in the description that he's made an error? Does he do a later video correcting his error? Well, I don't know. You don't see it here. There again, that's 99.59% of most video creators. They don't care about the truth. Oh, by the way, that's also why I'm completely blocked from Mike Norma's channel, because I have put in his face things that he just can't refute. So instead of being an honest guy, taking an honest look, he just continues to remain to be the unserious person that most YouTube channel content creators are. They're just not serious people. All you can do is point it out. That's all you can do. All right, so where did he go wrong? His Kelly number of 49%, he's incorrectly assumed it was 49% of your equity balance. It is completely incorrect. Gamblers have it right. Stock and future traders typically have it wrong. That's not what it means. A gambler, to use the previous example, risking 120 to make 100. When you lose the 120 completely. So what's this guy's mistake? He's only risking 98, but then later he starts putting in here, I'm going to do a fraction Kelly because I don't want to risk the 98, and I'm going to put stops in it, blah, blah, blah. So the fact of the matter is you're never risking the 98. And the amount you're risking is the Kelly number. In this case, his dollar amount is $9,800. He's never risking that. Never, ever, ever risking that. Now, that's the good thing about being wrong in this context, is you're doing a very, very suboptimal Kelly amount for real, and it's multiples less. Now, the downside to this, when you're trying to make money, you're risking so little, you're never going to make a lot of money. Go back to my previous videos. How did we this year already make 35%? Now, again, I've been full disclosure. 35% in 6 months is over our skis. I've mentioned that. Forget about the specific number. How did we make anything close to that amount? It's because we're using proper Kelly betting numbers. And again, if you don't do that, you're going to so far under bet, you're not even going to come close to it. And you're not going to have an understanding why. And because this guy and most people are completely ignorant of the actual mathematics, you couldn't figure yourself out of this mathematical wet paper bag. He doesn't even realize what he's doing because he has no real understanding. So he needs somebody, most people need someone to tell them where they're wrong, and they'll go, oh shit, I'm going to correct everything moving forward. And then you're also going to find out how using Kelly betting criteria with stocks, again, this guy claims he's doing it. He's not. He's way too small. So he doesn't see the real problem, Kelly betting with stocks, is you can't do it because the amount you need to bet becomes unmarginable in the real world because stocks are horribly inefficient, which is why you want to use futures if at all possible, because that's where the real magic comes out, being able to utilize Kelly properly in the real world, because you can't really do it with stocks because of the margin requirements. Just not doable. Over here on the left, I've got some MATLAB code. I've got it out here. By all means, copy the thing. This is the proper implementation. So I'm giving you some examples here. $100,000, the Kelly bet, which we're not getting into how we got it, but it's 25%. So that's equivalent to his 49% here. We're doing it with futures. So I just happen to have an ES future here, the micros, so it's a 5 multiplier. And our stop, we're going to stop this as per our algo. I've given a 2% stop. So a 2% loss of the underlying is where we're going to stop this trade out. These are the inputs you need. This is the explanation. Go through. And at the end, what we're trying to do here is the size. How many contracts are we going to do based on this criteria? You go through, I'll stop it right here. You end up getting 39.8406 contracts, round down 39 contracts. Now do the math. Okay, steps 5 and step 6 here are optional, but they shouldn't be when you're just getting used to this stuff. Do the math. Let's verify you're right. Okay, just follow it through, follow the math through. And because we rounded down slightly, the max risk that we were willing to lose on one trade at 25% is $25,000. That's what we're willing to risk. This guy here isn't willing to risk the $9,800. That's what a true Kelly bet tells you. You're willing to lose $9,800. You can start to see why that won't work in stock trading world for a multitude of reasons. And you can do that math and you can see it works out too because you rounded down slightly less than that 25,000. Here is the final summary. And for those of you, including my members, I've given it to them in different forms, but this is a decent form. Here's the math. This is in MATLAB. Just convert that to Excel. Here's the math. Use this. Put in your values up here, what you need. I'm giving you some of the values. You are giving yourself some of the other values. You know the size of your account. I don't need to know it. What I have to tell you is the Kelly size, 25%. What price we're stopping out at, so that would convert to the 2%. So you're getting that from me as a member. Everything else, you just calculate based on your amount of funds. You see right here, the exposure. So the notional value of what you're putting on is $1.2 million. You're putting on a trade that's 12-fold your account size. Now, no, you're not risking all that. That's the size of the trade you're putting on, and you're going to stop out with a 2% loss that equates to the Kelly size, the $25,000. That's what you're doing. Now, of course, we would fractional Kelly that, but this guy's already off. Forget about it. Once you've got all this wrong, forget about the fractional Kelling and then throwing in stops later. It's a total misunderstanding of Kelly betting. So here's the code, and I just did a display to output it, but you can do all that yourself. So this video is public. It's open to everyone. You can see where people make their mistakes. We don't make that mistake here because we understand the math and we have actual, real skin, flesh, and blood in the game, and we do things right. Starting with the math. If your math is wrong, forget it. So if you want to know how we can make these types of gains that we've made, that I've showed so far in the last 6 months, by the way, 16 trades. Necessarily, some of those were losers. I don't actually have that number, but that was made in 16 trades. Okay. And how do you make that type of money? Well, it's applying the Kelly criteria better. And where do you go to get this type of information? Well, where do you go at least to get this type of trading results? Right here, folks, patreon.com/Koyas Quantitative. Right here. Go over here, choose your membership. Yes, I'm friggin' lazy. I'm leaving this thing on here. Or I've left this thing on here. My apologies. By the way, I'm going to change this right now. Since Mike Norman is also a problem child in this area, and since Mike Norman has made the childish excuse to block good information because he doesn't have a rebuttal, I am letting this go for approximately another month, and I'm going to change this from the Mind This One offer to the Mike Norman offer. Boom. See ya.